Hello everybody, this is SCP Gamer, back again with another video, and today we're going to talk about building a good public transportation network. So I'm here in my city, New Minecraftia, which has a really well designed public transportation net, and I want to share some tips with you. So, yeah. We're going to talk about bus networks, tram networks, subway networks, light rail, maybe some regional light rail, and some special lines that you can build in your city. So let's start off with, first of all, we'll start with the basics. So to start off with your transportation network, I would recommend doing a map. As you can definitely tell, it is not finished. Reason for that is I first started with the public transport network and then made the map around it. But you can build a map and build your transit around it. I kind of did the opposite. It worked for me at least. It worked pretty well, but I recommend you guys to start with a plan first. Name your streets, lines, and all of that stuff. Make some basic shapes. Make a legend somewhere, which I will do. Maybe right here in this corner, I'll make a legend, or like what it tells you what is what. Yeah, the green is the light rail, the red is the tram, and the blue is the bus. So let's start out with the blues, which is the bus. So yeah, we're starting out with the cheapest type of public transportation, which are buses. So for buses, you want to have pretty basic design, like right here. Shouldn't be something special. Plan out your routes pretty well. Name them. Simple pole in like a area where you can sit. But you can go a bit more unique with more major stops, like Central Station. There's like a port area where where the buses get in, and rolling stock. You want to look at pictures from official buses around the world. I suggest European buses since they look the most modern and have articulated and double decker, which the city has. And yeah, you can also have some buses which are not in service, like this one right here. This is like an older model out of service. But yeah, that's all I have to say about buses. A bonus, a thing that I should add is you can also have double articulated buses if your city is big enough to support double articulated buses. Because if your city is small, you don't want double articulated buses. You should have at least a big center area, like big city. Like right here, this bus is like the airport line. And yeah, add a airport bus line that connects the most centric point to the airport, which I suggest you, and also like make a express version of the line to make it a bit faster. So yeah, that were buses. And someone opened the door. So yeah, and now let's talk about trams, which I see not as much in cities as I should do. Trams are pretty important. They're cleaner, they have more capacity, and they are just, in my opinion, cooler looking. So yeah, first of all, you want to have some rails on the street. Duh, streetcars, trams, they're both the exact same word. And you want to mostly use overhead wires. Some people actually despise these, which I don't get why. They don't really mind me too much. But overhead wiring is actually safer than having like a third rail, since people could trip on them, they could get an electric shock off of them. And yeah, also make some older trams like this one right here. You don't have to build tram stations like this crazy. Only do those on like main centric areas, which will be a common theme around this video. Make more interesting stops at more touristy or more centric areas. But if you have more of the outskirts, you can go pretty simple like this. Not complicated at all, just 2 platforms, some lights, some trams and grass, and yeah. Also, you also want to plant some roots on for those as well. Like right here, the M54. And I forgot this. What I suggest you guys is to have your lines at least 1 to 3 symbols. More than that will just be confusing and inefficient. It just sounds nicer. But yeah, trams. There are also not much to say. But with trains, I have a lot to say. So let's now talk about trains, or more in particular, light rail networks. I chose a light rail over a subway. Reason because this city has been built before the 1.18 up there, where we can go underneath bedrock. So I had to like work with a light rail, which I think was a better decision for me. These trains are way nicer. You can look at the city, and in general, it just looks nicer. So for stations, you also don't want to be crazy. Like, you can go do something like this. Only on, like, again, centric areas, go a bit more crazy. And rolling stock is definitely the most interesting in right rail. Because you want at least ahead, you want middle cars, and if you have 5 wide trains, do interior. Do interior. I can't say it enough. But yeah, you can have disconnected trains, which work like this. You can have them make them walk through, make ladders, make emergency exits, and yada yada yada. And bridges, you don't have to be complex like this. I thought this was a good idea. It looks great, but it was tedious. I now go with a way simpler design for my bridges, which are just pretty much plain walls, because nobody's gonna look at them and overanalyze them. Yeah, for Central Station, you want to have at least two big platforms, not 2 small platforms, because this is where most of the people are entering and exiting here, so they need space. And multiple lines. Get multiple lines in here. Get like a maximum of 5, I'd say. Yeah, 5 lines. And here we go. We're going to the next step, which is something I've recently have been doing. Build a ring line / loop line. These are not necessarily important, but they are actually quite important for big cities like Berlin. Has done a great loop line. In this city we'll be taking inspiration from Berlin's ring line because it's so great. But yeah, I've decided to build it on the ground since I can't really fit this ring line on the surface. There's like no space. So yeah, build it on the ground. And tunnels I want to get as well into a bit, because tunnels, you want to give them a bit of detail, not much detail, since you're just gonna pass all of this, but details such as like areas where the trains can stay before they get to go again is pretty important, just general. And for tunnels, please add emergency exits. I think there's only one subway system or like one system in general who has tunnels, which is Greenfield, which has emergency exits. Everyone forgets about these, and I don't know why. Is it because you don't see them while taking the train? Is it that? But yeah, emergency exits are important. They provide safety to escape from the tunnels, which are pretty dangerous, and just give more realism. And like stuff like elevation changes, curves, pillars are all important factors in a tunnel. And sometimes you can have stations where there are two individual platforms, not one in the center. So that gives a bit more realism, because no system has primarily one platform stations. They also have two platform stations for reasons. Could be capacity, space, regulations, whatever. But yeah, and also you don't want your light rail, at least not just primarily be underground all the time, since that will not really work well. Let me just fly through this tunnel sequence. So yeah, also for Central Station, again, make the platforms big for capacity. And like here, there will be another emergency exit, which is right there. If we just fly over there, there it is, emergency exit. But you also want to go above ground or on the ground, like right here. So this is where I also have to get a tip out of the way. Slopes like these are way more realistic than having a flat wall. There are some physical reasons, which you just have to Google it why that is. I know why, but I can't explain it well. Have barriers so that people can't go on the track and die. And stations like these, which are narrower, have canopies like these, give a lot of more realism. Since this isn't really a major stop, and it doesn't need that much capacity, the government can save up money and just build something small like this. And if you're talking about stairs, use trapdoors. They work pretty well. And I haven't done this yet, but right there will be like an underpass going into the street. But yeah, this is like a extra small little district. And yeah, that was everything you need to know about light rail. For subways, you do pretty much the same thing, except instead of overhead wires like I done with the light rail, you have to do like a third rail, like right there. And that's pretty much a subway. But yeah, now let's get into some special kinds of transportations. So yeah, now let's get into special kinds of public transportation that can't be classified in any category. So right here, this is like a little shuttle line I've created. It used to be a subway network, but since this was before 1.18, we couldn't build underneath bedrock, so I had to work with something like that. And I'll fix that later. But it used to actually be quite big for a minecart system. So this shuttle connects from over there, from Gotha Road, to the Yulee Center, which is just a big shopping mall. And it actually isn't that great. I might completely tear it down, but there's no direct connection to the downtown market and the Yulee Center. But I just covered that up. As you can see, this used to be much bigger. It would go to Chinatown, which is the next stop. Right here. China Street. Even though this is Central Street now. And then it gone again. Another stretch with dirt pillars all the way to the Olympic Stadium. which is now buried. It's now blocked off. But yeah, having also abandoned stuff gives it a bit more curiosity to the visitors. They see a gated up station like this and they go, I wonder what that is. So they look at it close permanently, and then you got the curiosity, go inside, and then they realized, oh, it's like a minecart network, which I think is really cool, and a lot of people don't really do this much. Abandoned networks are pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, these were special kinds of transportation and abandoned transportation in that case. And also highways. But only one highway, and that's it. I don't know why I put that in. Kind of like a bonus tip for yo guys. But yeah, now let's get into the outro. So with that, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And I hope to see your public transportation network grow vastly. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye! I also forgot to mention that bus lanes exist, so add bus networks. Okay, bye!